Good morning, good evening, good night, whenever you're watching this episode of What I Think Sharing Our Stories. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, as always, Aaron Jones, and today we have a special guest who literally makes her living speaking, okay? She is an awesome person. She has a lot of experience, I think, in this area of just health and birthing new things. And so I'm going to introduce to you Miss Lannea Adamson of LanneaSpeaks. Yes, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I feel good. You know, it's. I feel like I'm birthing, so it's not always a smooth process. So, but it's worth it. So I'm good. I can't complain.
That's it. And I do have to shout out really quickly. You have a really awesome marketing video.
Oh, thank you. Who did that
video?
video?
Whoever did that video is just masterful work by that person. Shout out to you.
I think y'all should check that out because whoever did it, superb.
It's great. Check that out real quick because they did amazing. Anyway, I'm going to get into this conversation. Firstly, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. For those who don't know who LanneaSpeaks is, what you do, who you is, give them a quick little overview.
Okay. Well, by profession, I'm a public health social worker and also a birth doula. And I like to say that I went from helping women birth their physical babies to helping women birth their spiritual babies. I feel like there's things that are inside of us that we are walking around with that are laying dormant. And I think that we need to birth them out. There's purpose that we've been given from God, and we're walking around not walking in our purpose. So that is what I desire, to help women to walk in their purpose, and whatever's stopping them, whether they need a spiritual doula to help them figure out what is it they need to do to push that thing out, whatever it is. That's what I'm here for. When I'm not speaking, I'm working in social work, I am painting, I'm creating, I'm working in ministry. I do not sit still. So I'm kind of like a Jane of all trades.
Yeah.
I just love just making and creating things, whether that's writing, painting, whatever. That is who I am.
And let me tell you guys as well, that's only like maybe 10% of what she does, because I mean, she has an amazing story that I'm not going to tap into all of today, but just a lot of experience, having a lot of wisdom, and I think you can be blessed by what she has to say. Again, creative person as well as organizational, obviously to be entrepreneur doing your thing out here, it's just, she's a lot. So we're going to tap into a little bit of that today. I'm excited. First question.
Ooh.
What's your opinion on therapy? Jump right in.
Okay.
What's your opinion on therapy and using vacation days?
Okay, well, I probably am the person that would be the poster child for therapy, that would have a t-shirt on that says Jesus and therapy, because I think that you need both. I went to school for social work. I have a master's in social work, so I could be a therapist or work in that role, and am in that role right now a little bit. So I'm all for therapy, and I'm very open about my story. I'm very open about battling depression and things like that. And I think that just like we go to the doctor for a yearly checkup, that everybody should go for a yearly checkup, whether you think you have issues or not, to go talk to someone about how you're feeling. Just check in, because a therapist has an outside view. They don't know you, they don't know your family, they don't know, you know what I mean, you specifically. And sometimes those people that are closest to you can't give an objective opinion, can't give objective tools for you to use to get better.
Sure.
So yes, I can talk to my auntie so-and-so, and yes, I can talk to my dad or my best friends, but they don't have the outside view, they don't have the outside wisdom, and they have not been trained if I'm feeling some type of way, or if I'm depressed and things like that.
Yeah.
Let's also talk about prayer and how people are like, well, you don't need a therapist, you can just pray about it, the Holy Spirit, like Jesus. But God has created people on this earth with skills. God has given us purpose to help other people. So Just like he gave doctors skill to help people who are sick, or a veterinarian skill to help animals, he's given people those skills of discernment, wisdom, all those things to help people live better. And, I really hate that we are walking around miserable because of the stigma of seeking help, or saying, I suffer from depression, or I suffer from bipolarism, or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't want to have those labels, so we don't get help. And I think that is having a disservice to ourselves, because we're not walking in full joy, and God calls us to have joy everlasting, to live abundant life. To me, if you're sitting at home depressed and not getting help, you're not living an abundant life.
That's good. And quick, on that point of skills that we're given, some of those skills I would classify as gifts as well.
Yes.
Gifts of discernment, gifts of wisdom, things like that. Mm-hmm. Who wouldn't unwrap a gift, right? Gifts are meant to be unwrapped and meant to be, put to the can. So I would just add that as well to what you just said.
Yes.
Speak back on what you're given. But I think you already answered this a little bit in what you just said, but what has been the effect of these things on your own experience?
I mean, that's why I'm here. Spiritual people, having people in my life, of course, church, of course, God. God is why I'm here.
Amen.
But I think in addition to God, going to therapy is why I am sane. Going to therapy is why I'm in my right mind. It's in addition to God, in addition to pastors and preachers and mentors and things like that. But going to therapy every now and then and having that check-in. And then when I was in really dark places, just having that perspective of what I could do to help myself, in addition to praying, in addition to journaling, in addition to all those things, right. I think is one of the reasons why I'm in my right mind now, or why I've been able to bounce back when other people would still, not be in an okay place.
Yeah.
So it's just great. And then another thing is, I feel like because of what I've been through, sometimes the things that you go through are not for you, it's for other people.
It's hard.
And because of that, I feel like because I've gone through it and because I've gotten help through it, I know how to help other people who are going through the same thing. So
Lannea is speaking, y'all. Lannea is speaking. She's speaking already. Come on. Let's move through. We won't get on there. Let's move through. You already kind of hit on this too, which is kind of crazy. I didn't ask the question, but you already hit on it. Do you believe when it comes to praying for health and wholeness versus just seeking to change your habits and listening to your body, is it a both, and either or, and why?
Yeah, I already answered that. It's both, it's both. Like, faith without works is dead. Right. So God might give you the discernment to say do X, Y, and Z to feel better. But if you don't get up and do the thing, you have to put some action into your faith. You have to put some action into it. I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like taking a walk. I didn't feel like taking a walk yesterday, but I forced myself. And, someone I talked to, I'm like, oh, I only walk for 20 minutes. And someone that was in that role with me was like, don't change your wording. It's not that you only walk 20 minutes. You walked 20 minutes. And so having that outside perspective of somebody like cheering you on, of somebody saying like, no, change your mind about things. Like, we know how much our minds impact our actions and our behavior. So I think it's a combination of the two. And so back to your question, what was the question?
The question is
both.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, you need both. Like, why are we not allowing people to help us that have been placed in this earth for that purpose? If we don't accept their help, we're not allowing those people to walk in their gifts. So, yeah.
Wow, you said a lot there. The piece I kind of latched onto though was the community piece. about how we need to allow the people in our lives to help us. Because I feel like a lot of us are struggling just from isolation. And we call it being independent. But what it is we are isolating ourselves from the community who may be able to help us because maybe we feel like, having people around hinders us to a degree. We can't be ourselves. Maybe I don't want to be around a lot of people. Maybe I think I got it by myself. Me and God can handle this. When God himself is a relational being, the God, three in one, Trinity, he is Father, Spirit, Son. And so if the Father lives in a relationship and knows that, relationship is important, why would he, us made in the imago Dei, made in the image of God, not also have that desire, that need for community? And why wouldn't it strengthen us as well? And so I love that point you made about how it's so important to let your community help you, because we need the community.
Yeah.
It's in the community we find strength.
Right.
So that's good. That's good.
Yeah, we in Pittsburgh, so it gets dark, it gets cold during the winter, and then we had COVID and isolation.
Yeah.
So people that did not even have any issues now are feeling the effects of all that isolation. Jeez. People that are extroverts couldn't be around people, and that's where they get their energy. They're feeling it. People that were introverts and like being in the house is still not good for us to be alone all the time. And so, you know what I mean? Wow. The single folk, we were suffering. Like, it was hard. Like, nobody was even in the house. So it was really hard. And so admitting, like, some people don't even realize how much that had an effect on our emotions and on, just our mental health, just all going through the same thing at the same time. And then on top of that, you have compounding issues of people in your family dying, people in your family going to the hospital and you can't visit them. I was in the hospital and my dad couldn't even come in, like, because it was during COVID. I didn't have COVID, but I was in the hospital for 4 days and my dad could not come in the hospital. Just the toll that these things take on us, and losing family members and not being able to go to the funeral, having to view the funeral virtually. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we are all dealing with grief right now because of what we've all collectively been through. And so, especially during the winter in Pittsburgh, in this climate, it's cold, it gets dark. There are people in my life that know to check in on me. And I've allowed them, going back to who are you allowing to be able to check you and check in on you? Yeah. Like, are you up? Have you eaten? What did you do today? Have you gone outside? Has anybody seen the whites of your eyes? Like, those are things that, you need in your life. Like, you need people to check on you. You need community. And if you don't have it, seek it out. Like, there's Facebook groups. There's all types of ministries that have, small groups that are meeting. Like, seek it out. Like you said, don't just think like, I'm all right, I'm independent. Like, Jesus was walking around 12 deep all the time, so he had his alone time, but he definitely rolled deep. And so why do we try to be independent and do more, be stronger than God? Like, try to do everything on our own. But anyways.
No, look, that's good. That's good. That's good stuff. I hope y'all taking notes. Take notes. Pull the notebook out. There's going to be a lot of
journal,
a lot of those nuggets coming.
A pretty pen.
Yes, all pens. Yeah. All right. Now this one, what sorts of things do you either advise or do you yourself do to stay holistically healthy? So we're talking.
Whew. So one of the things we talked about, I do allow people to check in on me.
That's a good one.
I try to stay involved in some type of spiritual aspect, small group, connected, like some type of group text, some type of group activity. I try to, I don't have ADD, but my attention, I have to be like doing something at the same time. So sometimes just opening up the Bible and like reading is, at this point in my life, is, I'll just be honest, boring. So getting a devotional book, having a journal, like really digging into what is this, God, what are you saying? What is happening in your life, in this time? That is helpful. Having a therapist, having a coach, LanneaSpeaks could be your coach. Right. And what else? I got a trainer. I don't want to be at home alone by myself, working out, looking at the TV. Like, I could walk outside, but again, that's boring for me. I need accountability. So one of the ways that I check myself is now I'm able to force myself and go to the gym and have a trainer. So he texts me. If he hasn't seen me in a week, y'all, don't tell him. But I know I'm gonna get a text like, where you at? Like, what's going on? And so I know I need that accountability spiritually, physically in my life. For sure. So I allow people to do that. I think that's for somebody. Allow somebody to do that in your life, to check in on you. But it could be anybody. That's how that checks in on me, that I allow. Can't allow everybody to check on you, because not everybody's for your good. But, and then, you might be in a precarious situation if the wrong person check in on you. But I'm just saying, allow the right people to check on you. Yes.
That's good. That's good. Be very responsible about who's in your space.
Be responsible on your check-ins.
That's a word right there.
Yes.
Somebody do that. So I sent you a scripture. Not sure if you read it.
Sure didn't.
It's
sorry.
Honestly, I'm mad at it. It kind of relates to this topic. It comes out of 3 John, chapter 1, verse 2. Real quick verse. It says, "Dear friend, I hope all is well with you, and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit." Hearing that verse, what comes to your mind, and how you think we can apply that to our lives, if at all. If you can read it again, I can read it again.
I think my friends come to mind.
Okay.
Because I have good friends, like really sincere people that are concerned about me.
That's rare.
And it's sad that it's rare. But I think what I put out is also what I get back. And I truly care about the souls of my friends. I truly care about, I'm not scared. I just told somebody the other day, but did you pray about it? Like, we could talk about your relationship. We can talk about what you want to do, what you think, the pros and cons of this person. But at the end of the day, like, what did God say? Did you pray about it? And I'm not afraid to say that to someone, and they're not afraid to say that to me. And I think having that vulnerability, even with your close friends, to be able to let them in and you let them in and they let you in, is an invaluable skill. And I feel like it brings wholeness. Like, we talk about community and we talk about wholeness and things like that. I think things like that matter. And that's what I think of when you read that, is my friends who really care about my soul and not just going to the club or whatever. Like, I feel like they check in on me because they care about me, not just about the gossip or what I can tell them. It's a give and take relationship. It's not them just always taking from me. And I feel like we have those dysfunctional relationships in our lives and people in our lives, whether it's family or friends, and it might be me, but I don't allow that in my life. I'm very sacred with my space. So I think that also equates to the type of friends I have, because I don't allow leechers. I'm very sacred with my emotional health, and I know I keep those boundaries to allow myself to be sane and be okay. So I think that brings in emotional intelligence too.
There it is.
So, yeah.
Emotional intelligence, I feel like, is something that more people need to be aware of, because I think it will save them a lot of grief in relationships. to know yourself first before you start dealing with other people.
Yes.
Because when you deal with other people and you don't know yourself, there's a lot of room for confusion, for you to get hurt, and just for it's a lot of not great things. But if you know yourself and know what you need, then it helps when you go out and seek relationships, seek community to know what's good for you and what's not good for you. You kind of touched on that a little bit in your last response.
Now let's take a break for this special shout out.
Pursuing Surrender LLC is owned and founded by the wonderful Angelique Struthers, an author, artist, speaker, singer, and so much more. Angelique is on a mission to incite the world to radically surrender to God, one heart at a time, through creative, colorful, and conventional ministry. Her book, titled In Pursuit of Surrender, invites readers to see the triumphs, struggles, and meltdowns on her surrender journey. Are you up for the challenge? To book Angelique or just buy the book, head over to her website at pursuingsurrender.com. That's pursuingsurrender.com to be a part of what God is doing. Now back to the show. That's so important to just reiterate, because that's a big thing that people, I think, are getting tripped up on.
It is.
Out here.
It is. And I think because of my background in social work, I have a lot of emotional intelligence because I had to. It was like beaten into me.
Mandatory.
Right. So, like to get my master's, I had to go to therapy. Like, they you gonna know what this feels like.
Legit.
And so I had to face some things. I'm like, I can't help somebody else if I'm not okay.
Ooh!
So
Soundbite, please, for those in the back, probably missed that nothing you just shared. One more time.
Right.
One more time.
I can't help somebody if I'm not okay. I also cannot pour from an empty cup. So if you walk around don't know that you're empty, you don't have the emotional intelligence to know that you are walking around empty, to know that something's not okay with you. How are you then able to pour out and help other people? So I think emotional intelligence, it's a buzzword, right? In 2022, it's a buzzword or a buzz phrase, but I think it's very important, like you said, to know yourself, know your emotions, and be honest about it. Because I feel like we are so used to, in this world, suppressing our real emotions because we want to appear okay. And even in church settings, we want to appear okay. And like we have it all together. And I think that pressure makes us suppress our real feelings, and we're not dealing with them. And we're walking around looking beautiful, but feeling injured on the inside. That's God right there. Yeah, that's God right there. Yeah, that wasn't me. That was God. That was God right there. That was Holy Spirit. Yeah.
Now, real quick side note, we'll go back into the questions, but you said something really good about societal convention and how it kind of keeps us in this box that we can't let anybody in, let anybody know what's going on behind the doors. What's a way that you think people can go through our life and not get caught up in that trap of trying to look okay, but inside be dying every day? What are some things that you think we can apply to not have that happen in our lives, not walking that?
I think one thing is stop being around people who fake the funk. Like,
That's a good one right there.
You just around fake people all the time, like you are not going to be able to be yourself. And on the reverse of that is surround yourself with open people. And I think that this is one of the reasons that I openly share my story and what I've been through, because I want other people to feel free. Like, just walk in freedom. Like, feel free enough to get the help that you need, but that I can look as beautiful as I want to. But we all have a story, and it's not until you sit down and really ask somebody like what they've been through that you find out all these different things. And so I think surrounding yourself with genuine people definitely helps to not suppress those things that we're just walking around, like you said, just dying, like, sick.
Mad sick.
Yeah.
Mad sick.
But I think it's a generational thing. Like, not trying to go into another topic, but I think it's what has been passed down to us. We've had to be okay. I mean, we was getting beat, but we had to be okay. Like, let's go there. Like, and that strength, while it kept us alive, we're still walking in that now. And we don't have to. So kind of unlearning what has been beaten into us for generations to stop all that crying, fix your face. I don't want to fix my face. I don't feel happy. So why am I fixing my face? Just things that that has just been passed down, and it's not really in the same side of freedom. So
That's what we get to. Sheesh. And I don't want to go on a tangent because we can definitely sit there all day, but I think what you're saying in that, to a degree, is it's okay to not be okay.
yeah.
And to recognize that. And what I would say to that is, understand that's okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Understand where you're at. And I think in knowing where you are, you find some solace in not being as confused. Say, okay, I'm just out here, I don't know what's going on, I just gotta live lost. But when you understand what it is you're going through, and you don't know where to go to find relief, then I believe there's some peace there as well as you can find in that. And so it's okay to not be okay. Because most of the time anyway, we know we're all human, we're all going through similar things. Not everybody, no one's doing it perfectly. Everyone has something going on. We just hide it in different ways. But recognizing that there's still joy to be found, recognizing that there's still people you can go to, there's relief, then you can find peace and solace in that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep going because I have a couple more questions and we'll be here just talking. Good place to be. So you go on social media, right? Boasting a formula for finding your purpose.
Oh, have I?
Now, can you share a little bit of that with us? A little bit of that. You've been very vocal about the whole process there is to finding purpose. I don't know if you want to give a little something for
listen,
us.
my brain, it's Friday and my brain is like, what? But it's funny you brought up social media because I had a thought and I suppressed it. But I think it needs to be said that social media is the enemy of being genuine, or can be, because sometimes you need to get off social media because everybody looks perfect. Most people aren't sharing how they got to where they are. They're not, doing a TikTok. Well, some people are, but you see so much perfection, fake perfection. You see so many people doing well, or, that it starts to weigh down on you because you feel, not insignificant, but you feel like you can't measure up.
Yeah.
And it's fake. It's not even real. So to me, that can be the enemy of your wholeness. It can be. I think a lot of people are searching for their purpose, but it's staring them right in the face. And so I look at the formula of look at yourself, look in the mirror, look around you. What are you good at? Start there. Because a lot of times that leads, whatever you're gifted in, that's what leads to you finding out what your purpose is.
Sure.
So what are you good at? The second thing is, what can you be paid for? So if I'm good at sewing, if I'm good at painting, if I'm good at speaking, that's some of the things that I can be paid for. And so that might lead to me finding my purpose. Another thing is, and I don't think we think about that all the time. I don't think everybody thinks about that, but what does the world need? And so it could be as simple as when the world needed masks, that's what I made. You know, like I was making masks. So my gifting was sewing. I saw the need for needing masks, and so that's what I created. So at the time, that was one of my purposes, to provide what the world needs. And then, what do you love doing? So that's the final one. I don't always love sewing, but I always love speaking. So for me, that is why I started LanneaSpeaks, because when I see other people speaking, I'm like, man, like I want to do that. There's something tugging on my spirit of what God has implanted for me to say, and I want to speak that thing, or I feel it just in my spirit that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I hope that I'm good at it. I feel like the world needs genuine, authentic, vulnerable women, vulnerable Black women speaking about just the realness. And I love it. So, so when we put all those things together, that is my purpose. And so one of the things that I want to do with that is also help other women find, and men too, other people find their purpose, because I think it's a disservice, and I hate for anybody to be walking around not in their purpose, because it's definitely, it's kind of like a soul crushing thing when you feel those things. You have something that you love, but you're just in the hamster wheel of making money, because that's what this world says that we're supposed to do, just at a job that's unfulfilling. And, so I don't tell anybody to quit their job and, do what they love and what they're good at. But however, find a way to transition, find a way to make money doing what you love, walking in your purpose. And if the world needs it, they'll pay to get it. They'll pay you. So make that thing happen. And I feel like one of the things that I got held up on, and I'm still working through, is imposter syndrome, all the things, fear of success. Like those are my things. But pushing through that so that I can truly walk in my purpose and make money doing what I love. So sometimes we have to, I wouldn't tell anybody to do things that I wouldn't do or that I have not done. So I'm gonna tell somebody to go talk to a therapist because I've gone and talked to a therapist and it was helpful for me. I've also, along my journey, had coaches along the way. So life coaches, business coaches, people that spoke into my life, people that were doing the things that I wanted to do. So if you have a purpose, you have something you want to do, go on YouTube and figure out how to do that thing. Find a coach that is doing and walking in what you want to do and get up under them. People like us, like if somebody wants to be a videographer, if somebody wants to, do those things, because you love that, you would mentor somebody or you would tell them like, this is what you need to do X, Y, and Z to figure that thing out. So those are some of my tips on finding your purpose, walking in it, and living a life that you love instead of, dread.
Do y'all hear this woman's heart? Do y'all hear her really? I mean, it's just like this, just like this.
Yeah.
We did not plan anything. I didn't give the questions. I didn't answer them. Literally right now I'm asking them. He's answering them. So, again, this is why we want Lannea Speaks on, because she is gifted to speak and has experience in things that are going to help somebody else. And so, I just want to take the time to thank you again for coming out, because this has literally been awesome.
I appreciate it.
It's been awesome.
This is my purpose, therefore,
Come on.
I have to do it. So, thank you. I really appreciate it.
For sure. All right, one last question for you. We'll let you go. This has been awesome. Though. I meant to go to it too, but anyway, what's one thing that each of us can do to stay holistically healthy, and also how can we support each other on this journey of becoming better?
I think be honest with yourself, and really honest. And it does not take this big thing to do that. It It could be just as small as taking a walk every day, sitting in the park, sitting in the grass, spending time with yourself, journaling, whatever that looks like. I think we think of these big things that we need to do, but it starts small with admitting to myself that I'm not okay. And it might not even be a big thing. It might just be like, somebody asking me, how are you doing? And me telling the truth.
She said, let's say, how you doing? Let's say that. Don't just say I'm good if you ain't good. She said, it's okay to say I'm struggling. That's okay. Because it's honest with yourself. It's real.
Yeah. You're being honest with yourself and you're being honest with somebody else. And I think, but you also have to be choosy with who you give that to. Because not everybody wants to hear how you're really doing. Not everybody cares. So find those people in your life. If you have them in your life, pray about it. Pray that because God will put those people in your life.
Hey.
And it'll come just when you're not even expecting it. But I feel like creating that community around yourself of people that you can be honest with. I have people that will ask me, how are you really doing? Like they ask me how I'm doing. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm well. And then they'll wait and be like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? And then you get to the real and find out. And so not only be that, or not only seek that, but be that for somebody else.
That's good.
Like ask somebody how they're really doing. Don't just accept I'm good, especially when you know they're not. And so that is my big take home, is be honest with yourself so that you can be honest with the other people around you. So, and that to me, then you'll start doing things that will create wholeness in your life.
I don't gotta say anything else. I'm gonna pass it on the collection plate. We're going to bless everyone who got them.
Yes.
But no, this has been a fruitful conversation. Again, I so appreciate your time and you coming out here. Y'all heard it here. LanneaSpeaks. She has spoken. It's a wrap. Peace and deuces to the next one.
Thank you for watching What I Think, Sharing Our Stories. I hope you enjoyed it and got a little something from this conversation. If you have any suggestions, questions, or comments, please make sure you jot them down in our comment section. Again, thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.